Apparently that's how this works, because his astrological sign is a match, is what we're told. Part of this involves her placing a doll under his bed, which is imitation sympathetic magic, and she actually feeds him her pubic hair and menstrual blood, which is contagion sympathetic magic, and disgusting, and something the audience is actually once again told is going to happen by the artwork on a tapestry that's displayed well beforehand.
Which itself is more imitative magic. It's telling what they want to happen and bringing it about by portraying it.
That happens over and over in this film. Yeah, see, most scary movies don't do that. They actually wait for psychological tension to build up to scare you. This movie isn't trying to do that at all. It's telling you the whole time exactly what's about to happen. Pretty much, there's really not that much suspense. So they come to Christian and they inform him that he's approved to mate with her, and he doesn't say no. In fact, he pretty much says nothing this entire time. He doesn't stand on principle for pretty much anything throughout the entire film. He is one of the weakest lead male characters in a movie that I've seen in recent memory, that I can even think of. I mean, he lies to his friends, he lies to his girlfriend, he seems to think only about himself. All in all, the character named Christian is a huge douchebag. And at one point, Pele actually is alone with Danny and asks if she feels held by Christian, because he goes on to explain that his community supports him and cares for him, and he feels like he has a real family, which is a conversation that comes off as if it's really discussing Christianity's failures rather than Christian, the person, the boyfriend.
This dental device removes plaque and tartar instantly at home. This device gets rid of plaque.
During the mating ritual, which happens in a womb-shaped building, it isn't just Christian and this girl, but a group of women from the cult are all standing around in a semicircle, and they all mimic the noises that the girl makes while this is going on, which just made everyone in the theater incredibly uncomfortable. People, at least in our viewing, were bursting out laughing with the discomfort of this scene. And you actually have one elderly woman in the group get behind the couple and push on Christian's butt while they're having sex. And I read an interview, and Astor claimed this scene was something he totally made up for the film, but as it turns out, even this is incredibly similar to Tahitian mating rituals, which would take place in front of the entire village and involve the elderly women of the tribe instructing the couple while they mated in front of everybody. So even there, you have something being shown that's based on real sex magic rituals that have taken place in other cultures.
Yeah, and more than that, it's really about not this girl getting pregnant and having a baby, but the whole community having a baby, and then bringing about life in general, and it's like a weird hive mind.
Yeah, it's like one collective consciousness unit, this community. It's not just your average society, at least not anything that any of us are used to thinking of. When Danny peeks in on what Christian is doing, which they don't really keep her from doing that, they pretty much want her to see it, it's basically the last straw in her ability to hold her feelings back, and she breaks down into these heart-wrenching sobs and screams. But you have the Harga girls immediately right there on the floor with her, screaming and crying and breathing along with her, taking on her emotions all as one big hive unit. And in this way, they're like a hive mind. And through joining with it, Danny is finally able to allow herself to feel and work through her emotions that she's been trying to fight and hold back this entire film. In certain mystery rites, including the Eleusinian mysteries, which were actually derived from the rites of Isis in Egypt, uninitiated outsiders who happened upon the ceremonies and the rites were swiftly put to death, which is also what happens in this film. Of all the outsiders that come into the Harga, only Danny, who becomes fully initiated, survives the process. At the end, you have 9 people who get burned to death in a pyramid-shaped temple. One member of the Harga gets chosen by lottery as a possible sacrifice, but as May Queen, Danny gets to choose the last person to die. Not surprisingly, she chooses Christian, who sucked this entire film. The audience was actually tipped off that this would happen very early on, however, when they first arrive, because Christian gets kicked by a member of the cult as they're dancing around, and someone mentions designating a fool. And ceremonial fools are often chosen to be targets of ritualistic sacrifice. So Danny chooses Christian, and they dress him up in a freshly killed bear's skin and put him in the middle of this temple, and a man comes up to him and says, "With you, we purge our most unholy effects," which means emotions, "and we banish you now to the deepest recesses where you may reflect on your wickedness." So what you're seeing there is a classic scapegoat ritual set up wherein the group is purified through a transference of negative thoughts and feelings onto someone else who then gets sacrificed. And I guess the message we're supposed to take away from that is, well, it sure beats psychotropic medication, right? I mean, I also want to just...
I'm going to end it there. So the main thing I wanted to show you was the sacrificing of the Christian, making him out to be a detached, non-emotional person, not a very good boyfriend. And this cult in Sweden, you know, you can only live to be 72. You have to sacrifice. So there's like euthanasia, there's runes, there's just magic and all this stuff. But this movie is trying to tell you we're overpopulated, and when you get old, you become useless. So kill yourself at 72, and then them taking this guy, his name is Christian, and using him as a scapegoat, saying he's useless. See, this is why this tells you they mock Christianity. They think they're better than Christianity. Join our cult, our Illuminati cult. This tells you that you're on the right path if you're a Christian. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.